I sense a great disturbance in the Force. Harry Thomas likes the Acolyte. The Acolyte is the 2024 Disney Plus Star Wars show that's spawned at 8 episodes, and that ran from June to July 2024. So the Acolyte tells the story taking place in the days of the High Republic, so long in the past, before even the events of the prequels, where we follow two sisters, Osha and May, and this show is kind of like, well, the complicated relationship the sisters have, as they were both raised in a cult of witches who refer to the Force as the Fred, and when the Jedi murder most of their witch family, Osha, she becomes a Padawan to a Jedi Master on Coruscant, but when she meets a Sith Lord who was outcasted by the Jedi, Kimir, she joins the dark side herself. While the critics score for the Acolytes is generally positive at 80%, the fans are not on the same wavelength as audience, and fan score is a extremely low 17%. Fuck. Snarky J especially ripped this show apart. So, like, she's certainly the biggest hater of the Acolytes of all content creators. This is a near impossible show to review because you are you're gonna get a enormous wave of dislikes and hate if you defend one thing about the show, because the Star Wars fans just roasted the shit out of this show. Never have I seen a more panned and loathed Star Wars property in my entire 29 years of life. They go as far as calling it, so, well, even more uh, destroying to the Star Wars canon than even the sequel trilogy and the holiday special and the Ewok movies, which I think is going too far. I mean, I do agree the sequel trilogy is much stronger than the Acolyte, because I'm one of the few people that loves the sequel trilogy with no apology. But as for the Acolyte, I neither love nor hate this show. I enjoy it, even with its problems. Yeah, is it the best Star Wars show? No. But is it the worst Star Wars show? Also, no. But people took the hate for it way to the extreme, and I'm gonna show in this review before you click the dislike button and unsub, and give me a hate comment calling me a traitor to Star Wars and saying I don't deserve to be in the Star Wars fan community for liking this show. Well, just hear what I have to say. To me, the Book of Boba Fett is far worse and more boring than this, and even I'd even watch The Acolyte over Andor, because I think Andor is severely overrated. But this is not even close to one of my favourite TV shows of 2024, no. But it's perfectly adequate TV and adequate Star Wars at best. What's to like about The Acolyte is that it does feel fresh, and it. I mean, it may change some things to the canon, like the witches referring to the Force as the Frez. I can see why that would piss off the hardcore Star Wars fans, but the prequels are just as guilty of this when they referred to the Force as the midichlorians. Different people in the enormous Star Wars galaxy are going to call the Force different things, but Disney have kept the Force the exact same. I do love we get to explore a slightly different era in the Star Wars timeline, like in the era of the High Republic, long in the past. The only iconic character cameo we get is Yoda. Well, the back of Yoda's head in the finale, which is the show's cliffhanger. But other than that, it's all anew, and I I do think this show, like the other Star Wars shows, does have a huge budget put into it. So its looks are decent. So but especially the Temple of the Cult of Witches on the Forest World where Osha and May grew up. Gorgeous willow-like tree where Osha and May had precious childhood moments there. That's my favorite location in the show, and even the forest does it does give me Dagobah vibes. So even get to see a Wookiee Jedi in the Jedi. I mean, how awesome is that? One of Chewie's relatives is a Force user, and with the new Jedi we get to meet. So my personal favorite was the badass female Jedi Master in the very first scene in the pilot, who takes on Osha and the other Jedi Master. Yeah, he had he was a real figure of authority, and there is elements of tragedy in this show, like with Osha and May losing their family and everything they knew and being torn apart by uh, by their circumstances and Osha's temptation to the dark side, and the the bond between Osha and May is the emotional center of the show, and mostly done well. Like and Osha's and May's two mothers, the witches. I mean, I get that this is where the fans pull the pushing the agenda card to criticize. They're like, oh, Disney are just using this show not to tell a good Star Wars story, but to push the LGBT community agenda by having Osha and May have two mothers who are a couple. Or why do we need a say sex couple political stuff in Star Wars and blah blah blah, and I'm like, can you people shut up? And nobody's calling you bigots or anything if you don't like it. I mean, because people think that Disney will use that against you if you don't like that, will call you a bigot. But I think those who think this show is just existing to push agendas are missing the point and are too harshly judging it. Like Osha and Anna's Witcher mother, they at least look Uh, they do look strikingly badass from a design point of view, and even if their acting isn't the greatest in Star Wars, well, it's still better than some of the acting in the holiday special and the prequels. But we've seen witch-like characters in Star Wars before, like when the witches in the Clone Wars who resurrected Darth Maul. So this is not exactly. It's not like we haven't seen witches in Star Wars. The lightsaber fights, when they happen, while they're far from the best lightsaber fights in Star Wars and a step down from the ones in Ahsoka, they were still thrilling, and they are still got darker. And the main antagonist, the Sith Lord Quemir, I mean, his actor looks like a older Ezra Miller, and yes, his design on his helmet is most bizarre and hilarious with the teeth, so I'm going to call him Darth Teethrus. He does look like just a rejected Kylo Ren design, but like Kylo, we do see him shirtless. I mean, uh, but uh, uh, but when he is throwing down and when he is well talking with Osha, that's when he is a decent threat. And I I will say though that this show is undeniably overly stretched out. Like, did not need to be 8 episodes. Just uh, 2 episodes felt like boring filler. I mean, and I mean, episode 3 was like a prologue, and then and yeah, and episode 4 also felt plotting. Nothing noteworthy happened in episode 4 until the climax. So yeah, the show doesn't fully kick into gear until episode 5, halfway through. But the final uh, episodes of The Acolyte, the second half of the show, do make up for the uh, slowness of the first 4. And even Daphne Keena is in this show. And yeah, so to all you Logan and his Dark Materials fans, she's continuing to get work. Oh, so overall, yes, the Acolyte is not perfect, not even close, but it still didn't make me want Disney to stop producing Star Wars content like it did lots of other fans, but it will take a miracle for the fans to be satisfied with anything Disney Star Wars at this point.
I give The Acolyte 3 stars out of 5. Good show.
So yeah, hopefully the comments will be understanding and kind to me, just because I well uh, gave a minor defense of the show, and no need for a war in the comment section. Am I right, guys? Well, I love you guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. And what are your thoughts on the Acolyte? So do you loathe it with a passion like the majority of the fans, or are you those people that agree with me it's not the worst Star Wars show? Please comment and let me know. Please like to hear and subscribe. Please follow on Twitter and Instagram. And I'll see you next time. And I am going on holiday to down to Devon to my godmother's farm this week, so there may not be a video on my channel for a few days, but until then, you have this reviewer to enjoy, and I will be back soon. And remember, movies are us. Bye, guys.